All right, let's jump right in. Today we are talking about what could be the biggest change in cloud computing since, well, ever. We're going beyond just storing data or running programs. We're talking about the cloud's new ability to actually think.
To really get what's happening now, we've got to take a quick trip back in time. See, back in 2006, Amazon's S3 did something revolutionary. It turned physical hard drives into a utility you could just rent on demand. That was storage as a service. 2 years later, EC2 did the exact same thing for computing power. But then, for 16 years, there's been this big gaping hole. A third piece was missing.
And that missing piece? It was decision-making. I mean, for all its incredible power, the cloud could hold endless amounts of data and run a bazillion calculations, but it couldn't reason about any of it. This created a huge gap between having information and taking intelligent action.
So this brings us to the kind of AI we're all familiar with today. You know, the generative AIs that write cool poems or draft our emails. They operate a lot like our brain's System 1. It's super fast, it's intuitive, it's amazingly creative. But at its core, it's a brilliant guesser. And that makes it really risky for important, critical tasks.
And these risks, they're huge. This kind of AI can hallucinate, just making up facts that sound plausible. It can contradict itself. And, maybe most importantly, it can't show its work. You can't ask it to prove why it decided to approve a loan or reject a claim. For any high-stakes business decision, that's a total deal breaker.
This is where the real solution comes into play. Reasoning as a service, or RaaS for short. Think of it like the cloud finally growing a System 2 brain, you know, the slow, deliberate, logical part of our thinking. It's a service you can call through an API that doesn't just give you a good guess. It gives you a verifiable, logically sound decision or plan.
Now, this isn't just a cool new tech feature. It's creating a massive, seismic shift in the entire economics of AI. We are moving away from the old models where you pay for how much the AI talks, and we're moving towards a model where you pay for what it actually gets done.
And here is the real game changer. With the old models, the AI company got paid based on usage. So believe it or not, they actually benefited if their AI was wordy or inefficient. Crazy, right? With our AIs, the company only gets paid if they deliver a successful outcome. For the first time ever, their incentives are perfectly aligned with yours. The risk is on them, not you.
Let's make this super concrete. Check out this number, 99 cents. That's what a company like Intercom charges its customers for its AI agent to completely solve a customer's problem. Not just chat with them, solve it. And if it fails and a human has to step in, the cost is zero. You pay nothing.
And here's the arbitrage. That 99-cent AI solution is replacing a human interaction that costs, on average, about $8. This isn't just a small cost savings. It's a nearly 90% drop in cost for the exact same successful result. That's absolutely massive.
But here's the thing. It's not just about replacing existing human jobs to save a buck. This is where something called the Jevons paradox kicks in. The idea is simple. When the cost of a resource plummets, we don't just use it more efficiently. We find a million new ways to use it. When reasoning gets this cheap, we're going to start applying it to countless problems that were way too expensive for a human brain to even think about tackling before.
So the big question is, how do these systems actually think to get such reliable, provable results? Well, it's not just about having a bigger language model. Now, the architecture itself is different. Let's take a quick peek under the hood.
The basic building block of one of these agents is a simple loop called react. First, the AI has a thought, where it plans out what to do next. Then, it takes an action, like using a tool to search a database or call an API. Finally, it makes an observation. It looks at the result of its action and uses that new information to form its next thought. It's a constant cycle of thinking, doing, and learning until the problem is solved.
And how do they get to be so accurate? By combining the best of both worlds. RaaS uses the creativity and language skills of neural networks, but it pairs them with the rigid logic and math of symbolic systems. So, the neural net might draft a creative clause for a contract, but the symbolic system is what mathematically proves that the clause is compliant with all the rules. It's intuition backed by proof.
So where is all of this heading? What does it all build toward? Well, it points to a future that looks very, very different from the digital world we live in today. This isn't just a new app or a new tool. It's a whole new foundation for how we're going to interact with software itself.
This is the beginning of what people are calling Software 3.0. Think about it. In Software 1.0, humans wrote every single line of code. In 2.0, We train these complex, mysterious neural networks. But in Software 3.0, our job changes completely. We just state our goal, our intent in plain language, and the reasoning engine generates and verifies all the logic to make it happen.
And that leads us straight to the agentic operating system. Pretty soon, your primary interface won't be a grid of app icons anymore. Instead of opening an app to book a flight, you'll just tell your device, hey, book me the cheapest flight to Tokyo for next Tuesday. And then a system-level agent will just spawn, negotiate with airline systems, and get it done, all without you ever tapping on an icon.
And hey, this isn't some far-off science fiction. It's already happening. We're seeing RaaS completely transform industries by automating really complex thinking. In software, agents are debugging code all by themselves. In finance, they're ensuring companies stay compliant with thousands of regulations. And in science, they're reading millions of research papers to come up with brand new ideas to test.
So what does this all mean? The big takeaway is that the fundamental purpose of the cloud is changing right before our eyes. It's evolving from being a passive warehouse for our information into an active, cognitive partner that helps us understand it, and more importantly, act on it.
And that leaves us with one final, pretty mind-blowing thought. For all of human history, our ability to solve the biggest problems has been limited by the scarcity of human cognition. So if reasoning becomes a cheap, abundant, reliable utility like electricity, what happens then? What problems will we finally solve when the only bottleneck left is our own ambition?